Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Today, we're jumping into the world of Jon Bernthal.
Yeah, one of Hollywood's, well, most compelling and definitely most intense actors right now.
Absolutely. If you know his work, you know that energy.
Oh, definitely. That raw, kinetic feeling he brings. He's almost become the face of the righteous but wounded anti-hero.
Shane Walsh in The Walking Dead comes to mind immediately.
Right. Or Frank Castle, the Punisher. For a lot of people, he is the Punisher now.
Mm-hmm. But that tough guy image, that's really only part of the picture, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's our mission today, right?
Yeah.
We want to trace his whole journey.
We're charting his evolution, how he went from, and he says this himself, a troublemaker,
Yeah.
to becoming this Emmy-winning actor known for these incredibly deep roles.
And we're digging into the specifics, that method acting approach he has.
Which, as we'll see, has some really surprising roots. Think unconventional education. Think Russia.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And we'll look at how he's taken that intensity beyond acting, too, into some really interesting off-screen projects focused on, well, authenticity.
We've got a good stack of sources to pull from.
Yeah, covering everything from his pretty privileged start in D.C. right up to what he's doing next.
Like co-writing a Marvel project.
And hitting Broadway. It's this fascinating mix, this duality.
And pedigree versus passion, you could say.
Or physical discipline versus psychological depth.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Where do we start?
Let's start right at the beginning, the foundation.
Okay, so when you think about actors known for being, rough around the edges, gritty.
Yeah, you often picture a certain kind of background, maybe a tougher start.
Right. But Jonathan Edward Bernthal, born September 20th, 1976 in Washington, D.C., that assumption just doesn't fit.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He comes from this really prominent Jewish family. We're talking high achievement, serious philanthropy.
And that contrast right there between that background and the kind of raw intensity he projects on screen, that's the first really interesting thread, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at the family context because it's significant.
His father, Eric Lawrence Bernthal, Rick Bernthal.
Yeah, former lawyer with a major firm, Latham and Watkins.
And not just successful, but also deeply involved in causes. He chaired the board for the Humane Society of the United States until 2019.
So a family connected not just to success, but to, institutional leadership and ethics.
Mm-hmm. And that high achiever thing runs deep. His grandfather on his dad's side, Murray Bernthal, musician and producer.
Right. And his brothers are no slouches either.
No kidding. Nicholas is an orthopedic surgeon, professor at UCLA.
And Thomas is a CEO of consulting agency and famously married to Sheryl Sandberg, former COO of Facebook.
Wow. Plus, their cousin was Adam Schlesinger, the musician. Fountains of Wayne. So much great stuff. Gone too soon.
Yeah, tragic. So this is a family steeped in intellectual pursuits, professional success, high-level fields.
And Bernthal himself. He grew up in Cabin John, Maryland, went to Sidwell Friends School.
Which is a very prestigious school, graduated in 95. You think presidents' kids, diplomats.
Exactly. But despite that environment, Bernthal consistently calls his younger self a troublemaker.
Yeah, he talks about having all this restless energy, needing something to channel it into.
And that really sets the stage for his, let's say, nonlinear educational path.
Totally. He did a stint at Skidmore College.
Didn't stick, dropped out.
And this is where things take a really sharp turn. The pivot point.
Based on advice from an acting teacher, Alma Becker?
She saw something, clearly. And her advice wasn't, go to NYU or Juilliard.
No, it was go to Moscow.
Right. The Moscow Art Theater School. For anyone listening who knows theater history, that name just pops.
It's huge. This isn't just a drama school. It's the drama school in many ways.
Let's pause on that for a second. Why Moscow? What does that signify for his training?
Okay, so it all comes back to the method, but maybe not method acting the way people casually throw the term around in Hollywood.
Right. It's more specific than just being intense.
Exactly. The Moscow Art Theater School is the birthplace, the institutional home of the Stanislavski system.
Stanislavski,
Yeah.
the foundation for so much modern acting technique.
Precisely. And the Russian school teaches the system. It's this incredibly deep dive into psychological realism, emotional recall, finding the physical truth of a character.
It demands absolute commitment. Discipline.
Total surrender to the craft, really. It's all about forging that connection between the character's inner life, their psychology, and how they physically exist and move in the world.
And you can see how that kind of intense, rigorous system would be the perfect channel for that troublemaker energy he talked about.
Absolutely. Taking that raw energy and funneling it into world-class discipline, it makes perfect sense in a strange way.
But then there's this detail from his time there that's just wonderfully bizarre.
Oh, yeah. While he's deep in Chekhov and Stanislavski in this incredibly demanding artistic environment.
He's also playing baseball professionally in Russia.
As a catcher for a Russian pro team.
Think about being a catcher for a moment.
Right. It's intense physical discipline, total focus. You have to read everything, communicate nonverbally, take a beating.
It's like this perfect, unexpected marriage of the physical intensity we see later, him doing his own stunts, and the psychological immersion of the Russian acting system.
It's almost a blueprint for the kind of actor he'd become.
And his talent didn't go unnoticed there. He was actually spotted in Moscow.
Yeah, by the executive director of Harvard's Institute for Advanced Theater Training at the American Repertory Theater, the ART.
Which brought him back to the States to finish his training. He got his graduate-level certificate there in 2002.
So you have this picture emerging. The high-achieving family, the troublemaker past, and then this incredibly unique, specialized, world-class acting education. It really sets him apart.
Okay, so 2002, training complete, armed with this intense Moscow Harvard background. Then what?
Then comes the grind, the reality of trying to make it.
He moved to New York first, right? Focus on theater.
Yeah, before eventually heading out to Los Angeles around 2006, like so many actors do.
But that initial focus on stage work feels really important. It wasn't straight to LA chasing fame.
Totally. The sources say since 2002, he did over 30 plays. Regionally, off-Broadway. He even had his own theater company for a while, Fovea Floods. It's defunct now, but still.
That screams dedication to the craft.
Yeah.
He fundamentally sees himself as a theater actor, grounded in that tradition.
And it reinforces that identification as a method actor. For him, it's not just a label, it's that foundation built in Moscow.
But translating that stage intensity, that method commitment, to screen work, that took time.
Oh, yeah. The early TV stuff is pretty standard for an actor starting out. Little guest spots.
Boston Legal, CSI, Miami. I think I saw he was in a very early How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, season 1, episode 2. Blink and you miss him.
His first real shot at something regular was that CBS sitcom, The Class.
Right. Showed a different side, maybe later, but it only lasted 1 season. Canceled.
So you've got this incredibly trained, dedicated actor, but mainstream Hollywood hadn't quite figured out what to do with that specific brand of intensity yet.
Exactly. The engine was built, highly tuned, just waiting for the right vehicle.
That Stanislavski rigor needed the right kind of complex character.
And that character was coming. Transition.
Okay, so moving into the next phase, sort of post-2008, heading towards 2009, this is where things start to click on screen.
Yeah, you see him getting these solid supporting roles. He was in Eastwick, briefly.
And importantly, HBO's The Pacific, a really acclaimed miniseries. He played Great Manuel Rodriguez. Tough character.
And that really leads into the key relationship, the one with Frank Darabont.
Ah, yes, the Darabont connection. Huge.
That's what leads directly to The Walking Dead and the role of Shane Walsh.
Which was massive. Series regular for the first 2 seasons, basically. Changed everything for him.
He brought such depth to Shane. That character could have been just a standard antagonist, right? Especially in a zombie show.
Totally. But Bernthal made him compelling, conflicted. You understood his choices, even if you hated them. He even came back for a guest spot later, in 2018.
Shane was that perfect Bernthal archetype starting to form. Intense, complex, wrestling with loyalty, morality, grief, all in this high-stakes environment.
And that intensity resonated. He got nominated for a Scream Award in 2011, breakout performance.
Yeah, it was the first big kind of mainstream recognition of that unique power he had.
That Darabont partnership was key, wasn't it? They worked together again pretty quickly.
They did. On the TNT series Mob City, Bernthal played an LAPD detective, Joe Teague.
Another short-lived show, unfortunately.
True, but it cemented him as the guy you call for those complex, morally ambiguous figures. Law enforcement, criminals, guys caught in the middle.
But it's interesting. During this time, he wasn't only doing gritty drama. He showed some range.
Right, like playing Al Capone in Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, a family comedy.
Yeah, and he was popping up in serious films, too, like Polanski's The Ghostwriter, Rampart.
He was definitely proving he could fit into prestigious ensembles. He had a significant role in Snitch with The Rock in 2013.
And then, of course, Scorsese, The Wolf of Wall Street, playing Brad.
Holding his own in that whirlwind of a movie. That says something.
Then Fury in 2014, the World War II tank movie.
Playing Grady Coon-ass Travis. What a cast in that film.
Critics really highlighted the ensemble. Bernthal, Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf. They brought this really raw, authentic feel to it.
You can see that method foundation paying off there, that commitment to realism.
He was consistently working with top directors by this point. Denis Villeneuve's Sicario in 2015, another intense role.
Yeah, these roles were successful, building his reputation. But the one role that really truly locked in his stardom, the one that let him unleash the full force of that training,
Was still coming.
Frank Castle.
The Punisher. June 2015, Marvel announces Bernthal is playing him in Daredevil Season 2 on Netflix.
And the fan reaction was immediate. People were excited.
But interestingly, he wasn't initially sold on it.
No, the sources say he was hesitant about joining a big superhero franchise.
Which tells you something about his priorities, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't chasing the genre, he was looking for good character work.
Exactly. What apparently swayed him was the quality he saw in Daredevil Season 1. He admired Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
He respected their work ethic, their performances, so he signed on.
And his performance, it just blew people away. Critics loved it.
IGN called it absolutely stellar, gutting. High praise.
But maybe the most meaningful compliment came from Jerry Conway.
The co-creator of the Punisher character.
Yeah. Conway said Bernthal's version was a favorite on-screen portrayal, and the reason why is key.
What was it?
Conway said Bernthal brought the pathos underneath the tough guy.
Ah, there it is again. That depth.
Exactly. It connects right back to that Moscow training. He wasn't just playing the violence, he was playing the psychological reason for the violence, the trauma.
Using Stanislavski's system to ground Frank Castle's brutality and his internal pain.
That's what made it so powerful, so much more than just another action hero. That emotional core.
And that success led directly to the spin-off, right? The Punisher series on Netflix.
Yep, ran from 2017 to 2019.
And the praise continued for his performance there.
Mm-hmm. Critics called it remarkable, intense. Some said it was maybe the best performance in any of the Marvel Netflix shows.
Because of that emotional depth he brought to the anti-hero.
And underpinning all that is his physical commitment.
Right, back to The Catcher in Russia. He famously prefers to do his own stunts on the show.
Which isn't just about looking tough, is it? It's part of the method.
Yeah, needing to physically feel the reality of the character's life, experiencing it.
There's a fantastic example of this commitment around that time, the film Pilgrimage, 2017.
Oh yeah, the Irish action thriller. He played the mute.
A character with basically no lines. So how do you prepare for that using the method?
He took it to an extreme.
He decided not to speak at all to anyone on set.
Not just during filming, but for the first few weeks of production.
Right. Total silence. To create that psychological reality for himself, communicating only through presence, physicality, internal state, mirroring the character.
That is serious dedication. Did it work on screen?
Apparently so. The Hollywood Reporter said he basically steals the film with that intense, nearly wordless performance. His physicality just filled the screen.
Wow. That speaks volumes about his process.
So beyond Marvel, he kept busy. The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Wind River, Taylor Sheridan film.
Edgar Wright's Baby Driver. Very stylish movie.
And it was around the Baby Driver press tour that he made some headlines for speaking out.
Yeah. About Kevin Spacey.
This is when the allegations against Spacey were breaking.
Yeah.
And Bernthal worked with him on Baby Driver.
Right, and Bernthal didn't hold back. He called Spacey a bit of a bully on set.
And said he lost all respect for him after the allegations came out.
That willingness to just say it unfiltered, even about a huge star during a major press tour.
It fits that authentic persona, doesn't it? The guy who values truth over playing the Hollywood game.
Seems like it. It felt very direct, very much in line with that method commitment to, well, reality.
And speaking of reality, there was a tough personal moment for him around this time, too.
Yeah, he had to pass on a role in First Man, the Neil Armstrong biopic.
Because his daughter was ill.
Right. A clear choice, prioritizing family over a big career opportunity. Again, it reinforces that sense of him being grounded in something real outside the industry.
He definitely finished out this period strong, though. Some great roles towards the end of the 2010s.
Widows. Steve McQueen film. Really good.
The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Played Shia LaBeouf's brother. Such a heartfelt movie.
And then playing Lee Iacocca in Ford v. Ferrari, a big historical figure, required research.
Plus The Many Saints of Newark in 2021, The Sopranos prequel.
So by this point, he's absolutely established, the go-to actor for conveying that deep psychological pain manifesting physically. The premier anti-hero actor, maybe.
But as we move into the most recent phase, we see him pushing beyond that. Transition.
Okay, so 2022 onwards, we start seeing Bernthal really actively seeking roles that showcase more versatility, pushing past that established Punisher-type persona.
Yeah, like starring as Sergeant Wayne Jenkins in We Own This City.
Fantastic HBO miniseries, based on a true story of police corruption in Baltimore. A really complex, morally compromised character, deeply dramatic.
And he also did the American Gigolo series remake. Didn't last long, but again, a complex lead role.
These roles required serious dramatic chops, going beyond just intensity.
But the role that really truly shifted the perception of his range, the one that got everyone talking in a new way, that was the Bear.
Mikey Brazzато, his recurring guest role as the late brother.
It's such a fascinating part because so much of his presence is felt through his absence, through the grief he left behind.
Exactly. And when we do see him mainly in flashbacks, the performance is all about the vulnerability underneath, the charisma, the tough exterior. It's the sorrow.
It's like he took all that Bernthal intensity and channeled it inwards into this profound sense of pain and loss. It's a total subversion of the Punisher archetype.
Let's talk about that episode Fishes from season 2.
Oh man, that episode, the chaotic Christmas dinner flashback.
Right. Mikey is only really in that one episode in the season, but he's the absolute center of it. That explosive energy, but also the simmering darkness, the self-destruction.
It was incredible. And the awards recognition really tells the story there.
He won the Primetime Emmy. Outstanding guest actor in a comedy series.
Which he won in 2024, specifically for Fishes.
Now, winning for guest actor is impressive enough, but winning it in a comedy series category for that role?
It's kind of mind-blowing because the role is so fundamentally tragic.
Right. It shows his power wasn't just about action or grit. It was about delivering raw, undeniable, emotional truth. He made Mikey's tragedy the core of the show's pain, completely unforgettable.
And it wasn't a one-off fluke either.
No. He was nominated for the same award the year before, 2023, for the episode Brazil.
And he's already got another nomination lined up for 2025 for Napkins.
So that's 3 nominations, 1 win, for the same recurring guest role. It's undeniable proof of his mastery of complex emotional character work, even in short bursts.
He absolutely broke out of any action guy box people might have put him in.
That Moscow method training, that ability to access deep emotional truth, that's what lets him pull off a character like Mikey Brazzато with such devastating honesty.
So his acting career is hitting this new peak of recognition, but he's also been busy off-screen, hasn't he? Expanding into other areas.
Very busy. And you can argue these off-screen ventures are kind of a natural extension of that method actor's quest for authenticity.
How so?
Well, take his podcast, Real Ones with Jon Bernthal, launched in February 2022.
Right. What's the idea behind Real Ones?
It's fascinating. He explicitly designed it to give a platform to, as he puts it, interesting, authentic people living on the front lines.
Front lines of what?
All sorts of things. He talks to police officers, former gang members, soldiers, activists, first responders, people from really different, often difficult walks of life.
Getting their unvarnished stories.
Exactly. The whole point is honest, open conversation. He stresses that he's not pushing any agenda. It's about dialogue.
And you can see the connection to method acting there, can't you?
Totally. Think about the research a method actor does. To play someone like Frank Castle, you'd immerse yourself in the world of soldiers, veterans, people who've seen trauma.
The podcast is like formalizing that research process, but applying it to understanding real life, real people.
Yeah, it's about stripping away the pretense, getting to the core reality of someone's experience. It mirrors how he tries to strip away artifice in his acting to find the truth of a character. It tracks back to that need for authenticity we saw drive him to Moscow.
That makes a lot of sense. And his commitment to making a difference goes beyond the podcast, too.
He runs a nonprofit with his brother Nicholas.
Nicholas, the surgeon.
Right. It's called Drops Fill Buckets. And they describe their approach as impact-driven entrepreneurial. Sounds very Bernthal family, high-achieving, strategic.
He's also very public about his advocacy for pit bulls.
Yeah, he's a spokesperson for the Animal Farm Foundation, really passionate about rescuing pit bulls and fighting the stigma around the breed.
And this is personal for him. He owns 3 himself.
And get this, 2 of them, Boss and Venice, were actually in one of his movies.
No way. Which one?
Rampart, back in 2012.
Huh. That's fantastic. Merging his personal passion right into his work.
A little bit more personal life detail. He married Erin Angle back in 2010.
And she has a connection to wrestling, right?
Yeah, she's the niece of Kurt Angle, the WWE Hall of Famer, and also pro wrestler Eric Angle.
Small world. They live out in Ojai, California now.
And important detail for sports fans, he's still a diehard Washington Commanders fan.
Gotta stick with your team. Okay, so looking forward, his career is showing no signs of slowing down. What's next?
The future slate is really impressive. A mix of returning to iconic roles and breaking new ground.
The big one for Marvel fans has to be The Punisher's return.
Absolutely confirmed. He's coming back as Frank Castle.
First up in Daredevil.
Mm.
Born again on Disney Plus Ardle, that starts rolling out in 2025.
But here's the really interesting development. It's not just acting anymore.
What do you mean?
He's set to star in and co-write a Marvel Studios special presentation focused on The Punisher.
Wow. Co-writing.
Yep. Slated for 2026. He's working with the director, Reynaldo Marcus Green.
That's a huge step. An actor known for such deep character immersion, getting to actually shape the character's narrative future.
It's a major power move. Shows the respect he commands and his investment in that role. He'll also be Punisher in the Spider-Man Brand New Day film in 2026. He's really cementing his ownership of Frank Castle.
Okay, beyond Marvel, other big projects.
He's in an espionage thriller called The Amateur. And significantly, he's joined the cast of Christopher Nolan's next film.
Nolan. Wow. That's A-list director territory. It's an adaptation of The Odyssey.
Working with Nolan definitely signals his continued status at the very top of the industry.
And finally, he's going back to his roots.
The stage. After all those early years in theater.
He's making his Broadway debut, spring 2026.
In a stage adaptation of Dog Day Afternoon by Stephen Adly Guirgis, a great playwright.
And who's he starring with? This is great.
His co-star from The Bear, Eben Moss-Bachrach. Richie.
Cousin. On Broadway together.
Yeah. Taking that incredible chemistry from the chaotic restaurant kitchen in Chicago.
Straight to the intensity of a Broadway stage in a classic story. That's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
A full circle moment. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. When you step back and look at all the sources, all the pieces of his journey, what's the main thing you, the listener, should take away about Jon Bernthal?
For me, it really comes down to that duality we mentioned at the start, this constant interplay between restless energy and intense discipline.
Yeah. He's the product of that rigorous Moscow method training, the Stanislavski system.
And he pours that discipline into these incredibly physical, often violent anti-hero roles. Shane Walsh, the Punisher. He makes you feel the psychological weight behind the action.
But then that same commitment to emotional truth, to authenticity, that's what lets him deliver these incredibly vulnerable, nuanced performances.
Like Mikey Brazato in The Bear, earning Emmys for showing profound sadness and fragility.
So the intensity isn't just one-note brutality. It's channeled into deep emotional reality. He took that troublemaker energy from his youth
And transformed it through sheer craft and discipline into this really powerful dramatic force.
It's been an amazing journey to watch. This constant quest for authenticity, both in his roles and, it seems, in his life.
Which brings us to our final thought, something for you to chew on after this deep dive.
Okay. Considering everything we've discussed, his
Yeah.
history, channeling that intensity via method acting, doing his own stunts, staying silent for weeks on pilgrimage.
And then launching the Real Ones podcast, dedicated to having these unfiltered conversations with people from all walks of life seeking their authentic stories.
What does this constant driving need to immerse himself so fully, not just in his characters, but in the raw realities of other people's lives, tell us?
Is it possible that for Jon Bernthal, the method, this whole pursuit, is maybe less about acting per se?
And more about a personal, continuous, almost systematic way of researching the human condition itself, a lifelong project in pursuit of truth.